I've enjoyed doing Ranked every day at 9:45, but I will admit Wednesday Ranked a whole lot better. If we're going to Ranked, Wednesdays are number one.
Just going to say the same thing.
Yeah, it's good having Matt in to do it. Matt Hasselbeck, wrapping up the Matt Hasselbeck Show every Wednesday from 9 to 10 throughout football season here on 710 ESPN Seattle. Matt, we've been talking a lot, surprisingly, about the new rule and the new emphasis in the NFL on taunting. First of all, what do you think of the rule?
Yeah, probably an unnecessary rule, but the rule is the rule, so just deal with it, and not really that hard to abide by it, but unnecessary. But what are you going to do?
So who are the top 5 taunters, smack talkers, that you were around or played against or with during your time ranked?
This is tough, man. This is tough. I was going to put myself on the list, but I did not. I was going to put Warren Sapp on the list, but he's too mean, and he's a very, very mean person on the field. So I'm number 5. I'm going with Terrell Suggs, Baltimore Ravens. Oh. And I think I'm putting this here because we played an epic game against them. It was like 45-44. We lost the game. And Rex Ryan coached this guy. And Rex Ryan coached his guy to do things at the bottom of the pile that you shouldn't want to do. So I did not wear a cup like an athletic supporter when I played. And Terrell Suggs, he found out doing some bad stuff.
Took advantage of that.
Yeah, so he's number 5.
It's a good thing you were wearing cleats, or Rex Ryan might have been out there.
Wow. Okay, number 4. Number 4. Okay, I'm going with Jake Delhomme, quarterback for the Carolina Panthers.
Whoa.
And I said to him one time at a Pro Bowl, and I'm like, dude, you're the biggest trash talker I've ever seen in my life. He's like, oh, no. Let me tell you my secret. I only talk trash to guys in the AFC. I'll never talk trash to the guys in the NFC because they vote on the Pro Bowl. You know, players vote for other NFC players in the Pro Bowl. So NFC guys, I'm like, oh, hey, man, you're a great player. I'm voting for you for the Pro Bowl. AFC, oh, I'm talking trash. You know, so that was Jake Delhomme.
Well, and I'm impressed. That's the first time Jake Delhomme's name has been mentioned on radio in at least a decade. So good. It's good to hear he's still out there.
Hey, underrated and great personality and amazing trash talker, okay? Number 3, I had to go with an active guy, a current guy, okay? So you may or may not know this guy. Number 55 for the Buffalo Bills, Jerry Hughes, okay? He was a former first-round draft pick, defensive end. He's actually a very good pass rusher for Buffalo. But in my career, when guys would get fined for hitting me or doing something dirty to me, think Darnell Dockett type guys, I always thought, well, shoot, I feel like the quarterback should get some of that money. That guy just got fined for hitting me or hurting me. Like, I should get some of that. And so Jerry Hughes is still playing at a high level, and here's a guy that certainly got fined for doing things to me. So and you know, kind of a trash talker kind of guy. I'm putting him on the list.
What percentage do you think you deserve? Like, if a guy got fined $50,000, how much should go to the quarterback?
Nah, so like Jerry Hughes, I think he got fined like $12,500. Okay. I think I should at least get to like designate what charity that money's going to.
Now, that's a good idea.
That's a great idea.
You know, that's all. You know, just make it, you know, whatever. That was just an idea.
All right.
Okay, number 2. This is a funny thing in the NFL. Sometimes a guy can be a dirty, mean, trash talk player, but like a really nice guy. Like, it doesn't always happen that way, but this next guy, number 2, played against him when it was the San Diego Chargers and also with the New England Patriots, Rodney Harrison. Rodney Harrison was a trash talker. He just played on the edge all the time of what is like legal, not legal. And now I see him on TV, and I have all these mutual friends who are like, oh, no, he's a really great guy. So I know it can happen, but Rodney Harrison, man, when I was playing, it was like, wow, watching film, like, this dude, like, come on, like dirty. Well, but you know, super nice guy. You know, it's like a different guy with
the switch, right?
Yeah. So, and if he was my teammate, I'd probably love him. So,
can you imagine the brief amount of time that he and Lawyer Malloy were together in New England?
Hey, I would say Lawyer Malloy, another guy, like great trash talker, wicked nice guy, super great teammate, and but you're glad he's on your team, right? Okay, number 1. Do I get a drum roll or something on this one?
Next
this is radio. We don't have that kind of technology.
It was a joke. I don't need it. This guy doesn't even need a drum roll. John Randall. Okay, so he used to be in Minnesota forever, and then he was with us in Seattle. But when he was in Minnesota, we're playing them, okay? And what he would do, he would study the media guide of the offensive line. Like, the offensive line would go to the PR director and be like, hey, can you not put any personal stuff in about my family? Can you not mention my wife's name, my dog's name? Because he's going to use it against me the whole day in trash talk. And so our offensive line, Robbie Tobeck, Steve Hutchinson, Walter Jones, Chris Gray, all those guys, they were like, listen, do not engage him. When we play John Randall, do not engage him. Do not talk back to him. He'll just shut up eventually. So he's going up against Chris Gray, our right guard, all day. And he's like saying all this, saying all that. And then finally John Randall starts like cursing at him. And Chris Gray goes, hey, man, finally he just cracks. He goes, hey, man, listen, you can talk trash, but, I'm a strong Christian. Please don't curse at me. And John Randall goes, oh, preacher boy. Oh, preacher boy. And the rest of the day he was preacher boy. So he was just really, he was so creative in it. He was so, like, next level. He was in everybody's head to the point where we're changing what goes in the media guide. And when he became our teammate, we sort of realized, again, what a nice guy, and how on earth were we so intimidated by this guy. But he was a Hall of Fame trash talker. Hall of Fame.
Ray Roberts has told me some of that stuff about John Randall in the past. And when I first met Ray and was talking to him and asking about Lawrence Taylor, who I still hold up as arguably my favorite player in any sport of all time, and how hard it was to go against LT. And he was like, yeah, LT, by the time I faced him, some days he'd turn it on, some plays he'd turn it off. And, when he brought it, obviously he was still LT. He's like, but John Randall was ridiculous. Every play.
I would say this, like, when he became our teammate, we were still intimidated by him. And he would get so hyped up in the game, and he had headphones on with, like, a Discman or a Walkman. He's, like, listening to music. And I remember one time he went to the bathroom. He's got his face painted and all this stuff. And I'm like, I got to know what he's listening to. Like, I got to know what his hype music is, because he's getting me hyped. I'm just, like, watching him. So he goes to the bathroom, and he leaves his headphones right there in his locker. And I muster up the courage. I'm like, I can't believe I'm going to do this, but I'm going to go over there, and I'm going to put his headphones on my head and listen to what he's listening to. And I go on, and I'm looking around, I go over there, I put them on my head, and what do I hear? If you like pina colada.
No.
I was like, what? What on earth? What? Just threw me for a loop, man.
All right, we're going to end on that. Thank you, Matt.